Well, we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Is that a line from Back to the Future?
Yeah.
He's like, we're back. Yeah, from Back to the Future too.
Yep. Well, we're here. Amidst all the things going on in the world, we're still plugging away. We're still here. And
we're like Doc Brown and Marty McFly. We're still flying around trying to fix history. I guess that would be you, Marty McFly, and I'd be Doc Brown.
Okay.
I have Einstein.
Well, there you go. So, on our newest episode of Dead and Buried Treasures, you have Long John Silver. So,
yep.
What better place to talk about that than right here on the pre-show to Dead and Buried Treasures?
It's Talk Like a Pirate Month. The month of September is Talk Like a Pirate Month. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what better movie? It's not really so much a horror film, but it's a pirate film. And it gets you going for, Talk Like a Pirate Month and being a pirate and the Renaissance Festival that got canceled. I'm really disappointed about that, so I can't go this year. Yeah. But here in Pittsburgh, it's also Steelers season, and that's why I got number 7 on. We're 2-0. We're going to see how much damage we can do in the AFC North.
There you go. So stick around because this is not the NFL pre-show, but this is the Dead and Buried Treasures pre-show. So stick around because we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Avast me hearties.
Yeah!
Welcome to Walk the Plank, the Dead and Buried Treasures pre-show. I'm your host, Rich Kanji, and this black and gold fellow over here is the creator, star, writer of Dead and Buried Treasures, and pandemic guru, Eric Sprouse.
What?
My pandemic guru. Keep me informed on everything that's going on. So I appreciate it.
You know, it's funny. Our producer, Fiore Mastracci, his kid would hate me for being the pandemic guru. You know what?
Probably right.
Oh, yeah, I am talking to you about something about the freaking virus or something stupid coming up. It's like, got your mask on? What are we doing? So one of the reasons we're doing it like this, though, we're trying to abide by all the rules, and when my producer Fiore can shoot in his studio, he does his updates, I'm sure, at home, but then he goes in the studio and shoots them there because he's by himself. But we would be within 6 feet of each other.
Right. And this works out better this way. I prefer it because I'm not wearing pants.
Neither. I got PJs on, I'm sitting there in my PJ. It's like my PJs. Look, I'm here hey, I'm all professional. But I got my big number 7 on, my Steeler gear. I'm all ready for Steelers season because, I say it enough on the show, but Captain Drake is supposed to be your Pittsburgh pirate or a pirate from Pittsburgh. So I still keep that tradition going, even though we're national at times on different networks. But we're really in the Pittsburgh area, a lot like Pittsburgh Dad. So I still like to keep it that way and keep the flavor of Pittsburgh in the show. So I'm no different with Walk the Plank.
Right. Yeah, you got Pittsburgh Dad and we have Pittsburgh Bad.
Yeah. Well, we are trying to make arrangements, though. I've already talked to Pittsburgh Dad about being on the show. So we may do a crossover show with that. I talked to him last year. I talked to him at Steel City Comic Con, the last one before they started, they quit having them. What was it, last December? Yeah. And with the pandemic and everything, he said, yeah, I'd like to do it. So if Kurt agrees, and he already said, yeah, we did it in passing, but we didn't work out any of the details. I mean, I'd love to have him on the show and vice versa. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So, as you said before, this movie in honor of Speak Like a Pirate, Talk Like a Pirate.
Talk like a pirate. Come on.
Yeah. You're hosting the 1954, I guess it would be sequel?
It's a sequel, but it can stand alone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nice if it's actually the sequel to Treasure Island.
Right, which starred Robert Newton, and he portrayed Long John Silver in that movie, and he's portraying Long John Silver in this movie. And somewhere, I think, in between 1952, maybe, he was Blackbeard the Pirate. So he loves the pirate role.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that. He was also
see that? Look at that. Dropping knowledge on you.
Yeah, you're drawing out. Hey. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so in between that, apparently he loves playing a pirate. So he was Blackbeard the Pirate. So this is pretty cool that you're showing this movie, and you being Captain Calico Drake yourself. Did you draw some inspiration from Long John Silver?
I think psychologically I did. I didn't realize it, and still I had never seen. I think when I was a wee pirate, as they say, I saw Treasure Island.
I did too.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it other than Jim Hawkins, that boy, and he was Long John's buddy. But when I started watching Long John, as I was editing it in the post-production process of making this episode, I said, "Oh, there's a lot of what I do in him," and I think it's where pirates get their name from, is this character he does, Robert Newton, because he's got like the one eye open and the one eye closed kind of thing, and he's got, he talks like this. And it's like, pirates back in the day, how do you even know they talk like that? But Robert Newton created that character, and he's so good at it that I think there is some kind of a drawn on inspiration that somehow psychologically over the years, people talk like that. When they talk like pirates, that's what they hear. Even Captain Barbossa in the
Pirates of the Caribbean
talks a lot like Robert Newton, what you're going to hear with Robert Newton tonight. And I didn't see Blackbeard. I wish I would have known that before we went on air, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that clip. But he does a great pirate on this. So there is probably a little bit of inspiration to it.
Oh, great. Well, speaking of Long John Silver, let's take a look at the movie that you're going to be hosting tonight.
Sounds good to me.
Follow the bold adventures and daring escapades of Long John Silver, the peg-leg rogue of the Caribbean, from Portobello's bawdy taverns to danger-filled buccaneer raids, with a lad Jim Hawkins at his side.
Your blood shall run on this floor with that of the governor's pigeon and his.
Yes, the lusty, brawling age of piracy is excitingly recreated with Long John Silver, the scourge of the seven seas, fearless in the face of danger, flinching in the face of domestic security.
Sealed in blood, not to breathe a word of our plans to a living soul.
If that isn't an award-winning pirate, I don't know what is.
He looks good to me, matey. That's a great-looking movie you got there.
And
I will say, did you know this? The year after he shot this film, Robert Newton went bankrupt.
No way.
Yeah, bad year for pirates. But then he resurrected the character in a TV series based on it. So he did something right.
He loves playing a pirate.
Yeah.
So, speaking of award-winning, I heard you might be up for a few, huh?
Yeah, Dead and Buried Treasures. I'm proud to announce here on the show, we are nominated in the Greater Pittsburgh Community Media Awards. That's broadcast on Community Media Day, which is October 20th.
Mhm.
We're up for, I think, in the entertainment category, best show and best host. So,
Well, congratulations. Wish you a lot of luck on that.
yeah, I didn't even know it was happening. I didn't even nominate. I was notified by the director at BPTV. I guess he had nominated us, or somebody nominated us. I don't know how that works exactly, but yeah, it's as they say, it's just an honor to be nominated. I think we were nominated last year, but I don't think we got anything. It was our first year, and but the episode that got nominated was the Halloween show.
Nice.
So,
Nice. That was a
yeah.
great crossover.
Yeah, it was a nice crossover show because we had 3 other horror hosts on there with me, and what I liked about that is really, who complimented on me was Dana, Professor Gertie. She said, "What's amazing about that show is how you make these limericks." And I remember at the end we do a limerick that connected the tombstones to a device we needed to set things straight on the show or something, and we were connecting tombstones of people in history with a limerick, and it was really, I just kind of did it. I wasn't even, I was just, right, what do I next? Okay, we'll write this. And you don't
You
really,
did great.
yeah. So we just had some fun with it. And it's like one of those things that just kind of came naturally, and hopefully we'll get some recognition for that. It'd be nice if we did.
I think you deserve it because you put a lot of work into that episode. And one of my favorite characters, and even Dana, Professor Gertie's favorite characters on that episode was Reggie.
Hey, I also asked for a decent cosmopolitan, and I didn't get that. Oh, there's one.
Yes, Gertie, it looks like my goofball grandson might have raised the dead with the scepter of Samhain. Happy Halloween.
Everybody seems to like Reggie. I remember was it you or somebody said, it'd be really cool if Reggie took over the show. I'm like,
yeah, I was pitching that to you. I said, that'd be awesome to have a whole show of Reggie, where something happens where he somehow, stows you away or forgets about you somewhere and tries to take over the pirate ship, which...
Yeah, you get your wish tonight because
the
episode tonight is tied in with, it really was inspired by an idea you had. And I remember you telling me last year, it'd be really cool is if Reggie somehow takes over the ship and leaves Captain Drake on the island and forgets about him. And I'm like, yeah, that would be funny, because it would be funny. And I'm thinking to myself, but if you're really going in terms of a plot, Jack would just turn the ship around and go get him. So you got to think he's gone. You got to think he's dead. You got to think something. So the way I envisioned Reggie in this episode was almost like Dr. Smith on Lost in Space, where he's the lovable bad guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be bad, but you just love him. Something about him, he's like your uncle, the uncle who's bad. And so there's a lot of that where, Drake says, I need a successor. And Reggie, you're blood. And you would inherit me ship and me riches and me boat and everything. And Reggie's like, oh, really? What goes into that? I'll be back on the ship. I promise I'll be right back with the longboat. And then he disappears. And then they just abandon him. And he tells Jack and everybody he died on the island. So, well, how'd he die? Fell into a bottomless hole. Fell in a bottomless pit. Yeah, that takes care of that. So you're getting your wish, but it's not going to be quite the froofy episode that, for me, it has to make sense. Every episode has to make, even though it's like theater of the absurd. The show still has to make sense in some ways.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Bring anything prop wise?
It's funny that you asked, because every show I like to bring some kind of prop from the show. And I happen to have Reggie's hat.
Nice.
And I think if I put this on like this, I can do a little Reggie. I look sexy in this. I make this hat look good.
Yes,
So,
you
yeah.
do.
And the thing is, I have it on backwards. The reason I have it on backwards is if you do this, you lose the feather and you lose
Yeah.
the whole. And with Reggie being kind of an idiot, I think it's kind of funny because it's more like this, so it's more flamboyant. You can see how feathery the feather is, and I just think it plays better. So I kind of wore it backwards on purpose because everybody in the show is gonna be sitting home eating their munchies going, "You got that hat on backwards, stupid." And they're going to be like that. So I'm explaining right now. That's why I wore it this way. So an interesting story about this hat. I got Captain Drake's hat and Reggie's hat both at the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival. And I had them made for me because this was almost Captain Drake's hat. Before I actually went with Captain Drake's hat and the theme of the show and everything, I was going to be the pirate from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be a black and gold pirate, and that was almost my captain's hat. But when I put it together, it almost looked too French. I want to say like Three Musketeers-y.
Yeah, it kind of does.
The bent back brim, if you wear it like this, it has the bent brim. And I was a big fan of the show called The Musketeers, and they always wore their hats attached here. This is sewn, I can't unbutton it. But it looks more Musketeers-y from maybe the 1600s. And I
so you were So you're a big Annette Funicello fan.
Yeah, Annette Funicello on the Musketeers. She was the best.
I was hoping you were going to get that.
Some people at home may not, but
I know, probably not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what's the name of Annette Funicello's buddy? There was a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He looked like the professor on Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember his name. But it was on the Mouseketeers, and yeah, I'm with you on that. So I did get that.
Good. So, of course, your favorite part of the show. We're going to answer some questions. These ones I got from Facebook because previous shows long ago, we've actually mentioned several times you can call in to the number below, which we have. Or you can actually reach out through Facebook and ask you some questions via Messenger or, post on your Facebook wall. So if you're not following Dead and Buried Treasures on Facebook, you should do so because that's where you get some updates on some of the things coming up. Who knows if we ever get a convention back and things return to normal, possibly you might be heading to a convention. So, we'll see what happens. But check out Facebook, Dead and Buried Treasures, and send in your questions because then we can read them here and ask you. But we got some good ones here.
Excellent. I love the mailbag.
I know you do. First one is I loved the Ghoul episode. I thought it was excellent. The special effects were so good. I thought your show was not done in Pittsburgh. I thought it was a national show. How do you do the special effects? Like when the pyramid was destroyed at the end.
I get I probably every other show we get asked about special effects on the show, and I take that as a compliment, really, because I'm not a big special effects artist. I mean, I've been trained in TV and the world of film and movies. I've worked on a bunch, and I've done a bunch of local television and a lot of. I guess probably I take akin to the movies I've worked on in real life. I worked on Silence of the Lambs and Inspector Gadget and Sudden Death and Striking Distance and the remake of Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead back in 2005. So I worked on a lot of movies that were made in the Pittsburgh area, and I guess that's why I have so many ties here. So I kind of pay attention. All you have to pay attention is, and you'll get to be a better artist. And I don't mean special effects artist. I mean artist in general, because they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I like to enjoy the moment. And if I'm working on a movie, like I'll never forget, I got the opportunity to work on the third Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. And they said, you know, no cameras allowed, no cameras. Oh, I snuck my cell phone camera. Are you kidding me? It's the freaking Batmobile and Batman. So I took pictures of Anne Hathaway. I was loving it. I never released them. I have it in my personal collection, but you can't work on Batman and be a Batman fan and not take a picture.
Right.
So one of my possessions, I got to like lay back on the Batmobile like this, you know, and have a picture taken, you know. What do they call it? Not the Tumbler. Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
The Tumbler?
the Tumbler.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It was the military version. So that was kind of fun. So yeah, I when you talk about special effects in the show, you just kind of have a plan, cross your fingers, and hope for the best. And you just have to plan it out and kind of have an understanding of what you want to achieve.
Very good. Very good.
But thank you for the compliment, whoever wrote that. That was really nice. I've heard that before. Somebody came up to me and said, I didn't think you were a local show. I thought you were like a nationally syndicated show or something like that. And I take that as a compliment only because, you know, it's like the Night of the Living Dead episode. I'll give you an example. In the special effects of Night of the Living Dead, at the end of the show, I had to turn it black and white because we actually have the movie come to life, Night of the Living Dead. And the Night of the Living Dead was black and white, but my cut-in segments are colored. So I actually wrote dialogue saying, there's something strange going on. There's all of a sudden everything around me is turning black and white, you know, so I could interact with the zombies. So you just have to plan. You just can't wing it. So that's probably my answer on that.
Very good. Another question from Facebook was, I standalones, but when are you getting back to the mythology?
Oh, good thing that you brought this up. This is a standalone tonight. However, there's some elements of mythology sprinkled into it if you're into that kind of thing. One of the best, I'm telling you right now, you got to watch the end tonight. The end is definitely mythology. It's all a big standalone, but there is a big cliffhanger at the end where we unveil something. And it happens in the last 5 minutes. I wanted to do an Avengers ending, you know, where you're doing the credits and all of a sudden, boom, there's something afterwards. We've been doing that with bloopers the last couple episodes, but it's so good. I don't want to have everybody turn the channel and then not see the cliffhanger.
Right.
So we are going to have it at the very end, but probably just before the credits. But there is something, and there's some elements during it that reveal who this villain is. You just got to pay attention to some of the dialogue. It's a good ending, though, tonight.
Very good. I can't wait. Next question. Will you be doing a Halloween special this year?
A new one? No, we got a little bit behind because of COVID and the whole pandemic thing. So we're shooting the episode right now that you're watching tonight was supposed to premiere in early September because September is Talk Like a Pirate month. And right now, we didn't get it done, but we wanted to get it on the air in September or close to it as we could and give it some airtime. So the plan is to let this one air till maybe mid-October and then have the Halloween special we did last year, the one that's nominated for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Media Award.
Right.
Since it's supposed to be unveiled, the answer if we win or not on October 20th, I thought it'd be good to put it on the air. So we're going to have that.
Idea.
Yeah, and that's a good show too. We have some guests on there: the Spooky Spectre from Fright Night Theater, Sluggo from the Horror Host Network, The Vortex, and Jack Shadow from Chiller Night Theater. So they're all on there with us, and so there's not a new one per se, but there is some elements of new Halloween stuff during this episode tonight and that episode. We're going to visit Rich's Fright Farm, Alan's Haunted Hayride, the Haunted Hills Estate in Uniontown, and hopefully 100 Acres Manor during the show as segments incorporated in. So there's elements of new stuff into it, but the overall show will be pretty much the same.
Very good.
But there are elements of new stuff in there, so make sure you watch it for those reasons.
The next question. I found your show on Facebook. What are the exact times that you were on there on Facebook? And what channels would we find you on in Pittsburgh?
Well, on Facebook, we're on what we call Wicked Watch Party Wednesdays. So if you watch Wednesday nights at 9, we're on in the middle of the week because sometimes you just need some horror in the middle of the week. So we're on Wednesdays at 9 on Facebook, on our Facebook page. Then we're on Friday and Saturday night at midnight with a show. And we have a link to Walk the Plank that you can watch the pre-show of that show prior, if it's already loaded onto our page. Or sometimes we just kind of upload it live to Unveil as well if we don't have it on the page already. So that's the Facebook times. And then we're on BPTV, which is the Bethel Park, Pittsburgh area, on Channel 7 and Verizon 32, Friday and Saturday nights at 11. We're on FCTV, which is Channel 77 in Fayette County on Atlantic Broadband, Friday nights at 11. And then we're on PCTV, which is Pittsburgh Television, Channel 21 on Comcast, which is downtown and all over Pittsburgh. This one varies. Sometimes we're on at midnight, the first 2 Fridays of the month, and then we're on at 2 a.m. the last 2 Fridays of the month. And Walk the Plank is on at 11. We are also on CUTV, which is California University Television, which gets us into Washington County, Monessen, Charleroi, Brownsville, those areas. But because of the pandemic, the school is on a hiatus right now, so we're temporarily not on that channel right now. And then you catch us on the Vortex, the Monster Channel at different times. By the way, I want to mention that you can meet me. I'll be real quick with this because I know we're rapidly running out of time. There are 2 Halloween parades this year I'm planning on being in. One is the Uniontown Parade, which is a virtual parade. One is the Bethel Park Halloween Parade that's on October 31st, Halloween from 12 to 3 in the Bethel Park area. I am going to be in both of those Halloween parades. And then hopefully that night, because we're still getting the arrangement straightened out, I'm going to jet all the way down to the Brownsville Drive-In in Fayette County because we're going to have a double feature of Dead and Buried Treasures at the drive-in. So we're going to sponsor the night where we have 2 double features of Abbott and Costello movies. One would be Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, teamed with Abbott and Costello meet The Invisible Man. On the screen 2 would be Abbott and Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, teamed up with Abbott and Costello meet The Mummy. And we're going to sponsor those. So you have an opportunity to come down there and meet me at those events and at those parades. But like we like to promote, you make fun of me, masks on. You got to wear masks.
Right.
So we're trying to be just like everybody else. It's funny because last week in the NFL, coaches got fined, $1,000. Teams got fined for not wearing masks. So it's just a different world. It won't be forever, but I'm amazed that they are allowed to have these parades. I mean, I'm loving to be a part of it. I love it. So for the temporary time being, we're going to have some fun.
That's great. So yeah, stop out and say hi to your favorite pirate of Pittsburgh.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. And hopefully by then we'll win something.
Yes. So, well, that wraps up the pre-show. So
oh man, a hot car goes fast.
It does. It does. So we have Long John Silver coming up next, and then stick around after that because you have some booty call.
The Pirates Booty. That's right. We return to the Pirates Booty tonight after the show.
Right.
It's our after show.
So you got to stick around for that.
We're taking all your Facebook calls during Walk the Plank from now on. We're going to take all your live phone calls during the Pirates Booty, the after show. So stick around. It's a whole night of adventure and fun for you. It'll be a lot of fun for you, mate.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. Drinking the devil be done for the rest. Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. The mate was fixed by the possum's spike. Possum's brain with a marlin spike. And a cookie's throat was marred belike. Had been gripped by fingers then. And they lay old booze that man like a breakout day in a boozing den. Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. 15 men off a stiff and start. Yo-ho-ho.